Okay, today we are fighting 8 crazy bots on a tiny map. This time they're crazy, not easy. But we won't have a turn limit, we're just trying to defeat them. And we'll just take a random tribe and see how it goes. Apparently we are Omachi. Now I'm a little scared that maybe if I move the rider anywhere near enemy territory, that it just get immediately killed. So I'll just end turn for now. There we already got a little money from seeing everyone. We use that to upgrade our city with fruits. And I suppose we take an explorer to get even more money. And we also get a vague idea of the map in general. And then we move this rider to a place where no one can hurt it and train a warrior just to be safe should the crazy bots decide to attack us. Okay, I think we can try to attack Imperius if we have enough money, which I think we have. Perfect. We just attack this here. Then we take it out and then immediately siege. And then we of course have to train another warrior in our capital so that we don't get sieged ourselves, or at least have less risk of that happening. And now we just gotta hope for the best. We can also already see the hostile actions of the enemies. Both our units got attacked, and one even killed. And I suppose we return the way we're here to Xingxi. And we can't do much here except just taking the city. It will probably not hold, but there's just not too much we can do about that. And now let's see how the bots react to that. As expected, our siege was not able to hold. Furthermore, it also seems that we just barely were able to hold our capital. But at least we were able to hold it, so I think that's kind of a win. Now let's see if we can buy something. It would be good to get smithering, because then we can attack without fear. But it's too expensive right now, so I suppose we just buy shields. And we buy those just in case, because as you can see here, the bots are very aggressive. And I don't wanna risk losing the run. And if you have a defender, it's just way less risk that we could get sieged. I mean, it's theoretically still possible, but you know. we will actually kill our own warrior here, just so we can move our defender out of the way and train a new one, because we still want to explore. And I suppose we just save a little bit of money now until we can afford swordsman, and then we can explore a little more, and then maybe also buy other units at some point, like knights, but I just don't want to risk losing our capital and not being able to unsiege it, because that would obviously be a game over. We see our first, or like, I'm not sure if it's the first, but there are already bots dying. Let's see, 5 plus 6 is 11, plus 7 is 18. That should be very soon, but you also need a little bit more, because you probably also need to be able to afford to actually buy the swordsman, because there's just not so much sense in just having the swordsman if we can't afford to buy them. And let's kill here one. Now it's also of course a little bit dangerous that we have less than 5 stars per turn income. Actually I have only 3, because that means we won't be able to buy every turn a swordsman. We take city walls here again, just to be extra cautious. Usually it's more beneficial in most games to go for resources, but in such a close-stacked game as this here, city walls are definitely a very good option. And now we can actually afford our first swordsman. And with this we hopefully can make our first counterattacks and then actually siege our first enemies ourselves. Let's actually move our defender here a little bit out of the way to get a little bit more vision, and maybe Imperius accidentally leaves the city open. That could very much happen. And we kill someone here, and sadly we can't move this defender in because we are just on our limit of units. We may have to sacrifice some units at some point just to get more. Imperius indeed forgot to move units in their city, which is of course very beneficial to us. And that allows us, that our swordsman got killed allows us to train another swordsman. Now as you see, I didn't upgrade my defender. This has very easy and understandable reasoning that I want to be able to heal him. Now if he gets damaged but not killed, I can simply upgrade him then, and then all the damage is healed. I think it is worth building a forge here, because it allows us to get a giant, and that maybe gives us the next siege. And we should actually be able to move our swordsmen out of the city right now, even though we can't afford any new units because we have no money anymore, because there's simply no units that has the movement to get in our city. And as you can see now, we actually have 10 stars per turn. Which means that we have 10 stars per turn, that we can afford to make 2 swordsmen every turn, which is obviously a good thing. And yes. Now I sadly can't kill the swordsman, or I can't easily. I wonder if there's some merit in trying to attack this city, as it's between my 2 cities, so I could attack it from 2 sides. But I think I'll just attack Orklak here, because it's an easy reachable target. It's my giant and I'm already on its way. But we'll see what the future brings. I think my moves now here were pretty understandable. I weren't able to leave my city open, because here's an Aquarian defender, and I just attacked in this way that my swordsman can actually kill. Now let's see here how close we are to sieging here. Yes, we should be able to siege with a combined effort of our giant and swordsman. And I suppose we move further in, so we can attack Gusha now, as previously explained, because I can easily attack it from 2 sides. And I think that's an easy target now. Now the brown border here gets a little bit of a problem right now, but we just gotta look what we can do. We just have no good opportunity to fight them right now, and we can only do so much. Let's actually kill this guy. Again, I'm of the opinion that in such a closed matchup, our own safety is the top priority. So I keep continuing making swordsmen. Also, they have more attack power than any other units I have right now. So that's good as well. Let's see. We actually can't kill this swordsman, sadly. But you can definitely kill this one. And yeah, it doesn't look so bad right now. Now we can see here that the enemy battle decided to put their giant into a boat, which is obviously a very stupid decision of them, because they can't really. They just lower their attack and also the defense. I mean, if it would be a battleship, then it would maybe be another thing. But just a normal boat is not a good place for a giant. And we have to move this back in. Now here I suppose we actually heal our giant because it just has a little low health right now. We can't move this away because again we can't risk letting our city open. And we explore here a little bit more. And that's about all we can do. We have a bunch of money right now, so we could think about buying some tech. Let me see. It's still not enough to make anything good. If we had forestry, then maybe we could upgrade something here. Actually, we can upgrade the city alone with hunting, so let's do that. By hunting, then we put down our Park of Fortune and upgrade our city. Now we have 15 stars per turn. That means we can afford again to produce a swordsman in every of our cities every turn. We heal our giant a little bit more. We look in the city. Let's see. We move this in this way to protect ourselves from the swordsman. And so we can move this swordsman in and attack the giant a little bit more. And we just heal this swordsman because it's always good to have more health. And then we continue just making more units. I'm not even sure where this defender came from. Aquarium is way over here. This Aquarium defender got way, of course, from its home city. Let's see. A fort here upgrades the city by quite a lot, actually. It's even close to getting a new giant. Actually so close that I'll just make it with roads. And then we just got 2 giants out of the city. Of course, we now can't afford to make in every city another swordsman. But we can still make quite a lot. And our 2 giants, especially if we move our 3rd original giant in again, will be quite destructive and should give us easily another siege. Just kill this off. And I suppose we kill this defender off. And let's also kill this. The defender and the Skinksy swordsman weren't really problems for us right now. But I just want them out of the way. You know, just so that nothing unexpected can happen. I think we make another road connection, so we get yet another giant. And we actually got quite the giant army now. Let's connect the city as well. We don't really need to connect the city, but it also doesn't hurt, so let's just do it. Now we can start moving our giants in. That's perfect. And now we have pretty much control over this half of the map, I would say. So close. Let's siege this as well. Actually, let's move a bunch of units in this direction. I think we have enough that we can afford backing into other tech. For example, we could go into sailing. There are also a bunch of ports, so we wouldn't even have to build new ones. But I think I'll just go into knights. Knights are very strong at the moment. We could also go for archery or catapults. Actually, catapults is probably a pretty good idea. We can't quite afford it yet, but it will come over time. We take the city here, and then we can upgrade it. So that's actually pretty safe, because I was a little concerned about the knight maybe taking it away from us. And I had already planned moving my defender in to give it more protection. It wouldn't necessarily have saved it, because the swordsman and the knight together should be able to siege it, but whatever. And also let's go for trading, because we are getting cities with a lot of ports now, so we can make good money out of that. And we just move a little bit more units in. I mean, what would you have them for if you don't use them? And let's kill off this boat. And I would say this looks pretty good. I don't even put units in this back cities anymore, because it's just not worth it. I don't need them to siege right now, and they aren't really useful back there. Let's see, that's what I thought. Yes, I can actually siege here. And let's just attack here with the defender, because it's just a weak boat. We move our units in, and we rode our giant in and kill this boat off. And I guess we built another source, and now we should finally be able to afford catapults. And catapults should be very strong on this map. Just because here is such a nice little river in the middle of the map. And of course you have to be careful to first kill all the naval units, for which catapults actually are also very good. And then we can just put them here at all those places and can safely attack those cities without risking our own units, because those units in those cities simply won't be able to reach our catapults. And let's make another source. Yeah, we move our units in. And start building our first catapults. We heal those two because they don't have so much health. And I guess let's attack this. We should be able to make another giant. So let's make one here. Aquarium starts making its Tridention. It's about time, I would say. Now here you can see the power of the swordsman. You can of the catapults. You can just attack from this far away and take out the enemies. Let's actually make another catapult here because we have enough swordsmen around. And then I have 2 catapults that can reach the city just in case. Make a bunch more catapults here because at this point it doesn't even matter all too much if they get hit, because you have enough power. Like if 1 or 2 of the catapults get hit by bolts, it doesn't matter because you just have so many. Now we take this city. You can't reach really from here, so let's move this over here where it maybe can reach a few things. And yes, with the power of the catapults and the swordsman, we were easily able to defeat the enemies. I think it was very clear that the catapults were useful in this. And yeah, I think catapults are often very underestimated. People often think that the only thing they're good at is at trying to turtle yourself against ships. But if used in the right situations, they can be really devastating units. And this is the end of the video. We can look how our scores are. Yes, we again can't really see scores because it's a pass and play, because that's the only way I can have so many enemies, because I just haven't bought enough tribes to play against 8 bots at the same time. But if I play on pass and play, then I can do it anyways. I don't see any score though. But I think what's important is the gameplay and not the score. And so I hope you could enjoy the gameplay as well. And with this I end this video. Goodbye.